Before we start the video, I wanted to apologize for this taking so long. Not long after I made my last video, we started me on a new ADHD med that gave me a 6-hour window to lock in for schoolwork and meal prepping, and then I was sleeping the rest of the day. And it took a while to figure out which med was actually causing it, so now I'm all good again. Ooh. Does anyone remember Gaia? You probably logged into it before Tiny or me to do dailies and catch up on your art trade forms. Or maybe you spent hours looking for that perfect auction to get your dream abbey built. We will be covering aspects besides the social forums, as I was never a huge chat participator personally, but I'll be looking at things such as their games, including ZOMG, the shops, and marketplace, among other things. So there's a couple of dailies in the game, but honestly not as much as I thought there would be. Firstly, you get your daily login bonus upon opening any page each day. This upgrades naturally over time, so it's worth at least logging in daily to get your one. On each main page, there's a daily gachapon that pops up on your header to collect a random item, and this seems to be anything from platinum to an actual item. There's also a daily treat page you can go to after to get some free platinum. Under the games, there's a dumpster dive minigame. That's just a random pull from donated items. There's like Kindred, which I'll talk about more later on in the video, which I would count as a daily. The aquarium has a daily grab with a clamshell that seems to be focused on the aquarium, so if you're not super interested in it, it's not really worth grabbing. And that's it. Yeah, that's all the dailies I found on the website. For it being an MMO, it's very heavily lacking in the dailies department. I'm gonna assume there was also a daily that allowed you to get the viable currency at one point under the earn tabs, but since the earn tabs themselves are broken, I'm assuming that daily also went with them. So, Runaway is under the games, but it's not really a game. It's a theme beauty contest. You can enter to win based on themes, or you can vote for others. Each vote gets you platinum, so you have plenty of reason to come and do so, even if pretty outfit admiring isn't really your thing. The thing I noticed more than the actual voting itself is the website. It completely changes on this page. No fun pixelated header. It's instead a very simplified modern page. It makes me think of those magazine websites where you go and vote for your favorite celebrity back in the day. Shopping is an experience on Gaia for sure. I've seen much better set up shop interfaces, but for its age, it's pretty good. There's several to pick from with NPCs that you can interact with. They even let you use them for special events. Like, at the time of filming this, I could send Valentines to the different shop NPCs if I wanted to. Very fun, very cute. There's a lot of items available for newer players in the shop, so there's plenty of customization. If you're wanting to go deeper, you'll have to go through the players in the marketplace. If you're just after some cute outfit things, you shouldn't have a huge problem. But if you're wanting to collect anything rare, good luck, as the system is known to be troublesome and the economy has been completely scuffed for years. I will warn you that the inflation and economy issues are still very much present, despite many efforts over the years to fix it. If you're using the player marketplace to buy things, understand that you will likely be overcharged for that rare thing you want, because that's just the price of it nowadays. So we all know about the games on Gaia, or at least ZOMG. There were a handful of other games available on the site during its peak times, but we have long since passed that time. Most of the games are broken or bare bones, and we're coming in to explore them all. Do note that the majority of the website requires you to use an older version of WaterFox with Flash. Lake Kindred is cute, simple, and repetitive. You start out by picking your little guy. I picked a cub drop. I like the little rain bear. It reminded me of a Castform Pokemon. And you don't get much instruction for the game itself after that. It's pretty easy to figure out though. You go and explore an area, fight other little guys for level ups, potions, and capsules. I got this cool wolf thing, so there's incentives to play. Not a lot money-wise though. I'm guessing people mostly play it for the drops. It's a daily game, so you use all your stamina and come back the next day once it fully heals back. You can get potions for it, some from drops and some from the shop, but it's meant to be a way to make you wait for the following day. Unpopular opinion here, but these types of games are crucial to an MMO, and I'm very happy to say that Lake Kindred does it right. My only complaint is how slow the game feels. Turns take way too long for each attack and don't feel satisfying as a result, which leaves the leveling up system feeling extremely slow. If there was a way to speed up the combat, it would be a lot more fun. This small side note, there is a mobile game, Lake Kindred Origins, which seems to have nothing to do with the PC game. Which is a shame. I would have loved to unlock exclusive kins to battle with, or something. There's not been an update in almost 10 years, so maybe they could revive it in that way, but it's unlikely given the track record of these types of games. So note, the aquarium game is completely broken if you're not using the Water Fox workaround on their games page. If you want to be able to use it, please play Gaia using the Water Fox Classic with Flash Player, as using Ruffle does not work at all. I tried. And there is a mini-game within it, Booty Grab, that allows you to collect gold. There seems to be a lot of little gold collecting within the aquarium, which is always nice. Booty Grab is one of those games where you move your character along the bottom to try to grab as many things as possible within the time frame given. Otherwise, it's a simple idler where you periodically check back in to care for your little fish friends. There's not much to it, as is common for these types of games, but the fun in it is coming back and raising your little guys to adulthood and gathering whatever goodies they may drop for you. So there's 3 main fishing spots to go: Baskin Lake, Horn of Gambino, and Durium Reclamation Facility. I went to Baskin Lake since it was the first one on the screen, and you're immediately asked in a pop-up window to choose a server. And that's it. I'm unsure if fishing was pulled offline at some point, but I could not connect to a server no matter when or how I tried. So with the fail of fishing, I tried the rally. It actually worked! I was able to load myself into a practice race, although it was painfully easy without a car. I think. I didn't have a car on screen at all, and I just quickly progressed to the finish line without any problems as a result. No flying cows or UFOs could stop my Invisicar from driving through the finish line. And there's a big red button you push to accelerate, and you let go to slow down to avoid obstacles. That's it. That's the rally. Simple racing game that every MMO was required to have if it was born in the year 2000 for some reason. I couldn't get a proper race going as there was only about 20 people in the town's room, and they were all too busy making faces at each other to want to race anyone. I was surprised anyone was actually on here at all on a random Friday afternoon, but it was exciting to see some actual faces. Broken, server errors, or assets failing to load. And no tournaments available, no practice mode. Now firstly, it still runs! It works! It feels like the only game that they've bothered to put the effort into, which fair enough, to keep the game up and running. This is what you're probably still here for. What is my unfiltered opinion on the ZOMG? It's okay. Repetitive for an MMO style game. Fun story, but very fetch questy even compared to games like Wizard 101 and Toontown at times. The weapons don't really add much to the game itself, which is disappointing. But there is a lot of fun to be had with it. You're fighting off unique enemies to help the townsfolk, at least in the first arc of it, and there's a very vast world to explore if you're willing to put the time into it. The main problem is it's very dated, and I will say nostalgia makes this game feel better than it actually is. And I'm glad they've kept it running, even if purely for the nostalgia, as when I played when I was a kid, this is where I spent the majority of my time. Sure, kid me never got past shooting gnomes and flamingos because I barely understood what a quest order was and needed my handheld like in old Pokemon games to have actual progression, but it still felt nice to revisit something that I sunk hours into. So Gaia is still up and running and usable to this day, which is great. Just don't expect the hype from its heyday to be present. I've lurked the forums and there's still a lot of art discussion happening, so it could be a great place to find people to commission or trade art with, but that's probably about it, realistically. I'll likely be semi-active on it, since I did have a lot of fun playing around the website, but it's not something I can see myself getting super fixated on or anything of that nature. It becomes a pretty casual place, and maybe that's what it's supposed to be. I hope you enjoyed looking at where Gaia is currently in 2026, and I hope you come check it out for yourself and maybe have a little fun. Leave a like, comment, and subscribe if you enjoyed, and thanks for watching!